Is 3D printed terrain something you're interested in for your tabletop game? I was. Let's see how it comes out. So in my search for things to make my tabletop life a little easier, I went and did some searching on Amazon, and I found the company called Ender Toys that prints 3D printed tabletop terrain cheaply and sends it to you in a box. And I purchased this set of ruins from them to spice up my Frostgrave game a little bit, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with them. They came really quickly. They came in the box, just kind of flopping around in the box. I don't anticipate these being I actually dropped one of them the other day and nothing happened. I dropped it on a hard floor and nothing bad came of it. They do have some minor imperfections from the prints, and you can see it especially along the tops where things weren't flat, or where they were actually, as a matter of fact. You can see the topography of how the 3D print was made. So there's some things that are kind of undesirable with this, but being that they were a set of ruins, I don't think I'm too concerned with that. My main concern is these areas underneath where there were support structures. I don't know if you can see it in there, but and the areas inside where there were support structures, and it's kind of messy in there, and the pieces are hollow, probably to save on material and weight. Most likely the former. They do, but they're sturdy. They feel really strong, and the detail is not bad. And I want to see if, when we paint these up, if we can get them to look somewhat decent. Let's see what we can come up with. So I'm gonna try to paint these up using just some regular Rust-Oleum, and I don't see any reason to use model paint on these. Hoping too that the thicker paint will kind of smooth over some of the left behind from the print. So let's see what happens. I don't know if you guys can see those kind of the striation marks on the top there, where the paint has dried on the top, where the 3D print, where the 3D print kind of reached its elevation. Now, I gotta cover that stuff up somehow. It's not gonna be good on the table. So I think I'm gonna cover all of these flat surfaces with snow when the appropriate time comes. So to give us an excuse to make these for our Frostgrave table. We'll throw some snow on them and they'll be done. We don't even have to base these. I'm looking at them now. They're going to be pretty fine on their own, and it'd be nice to have them be a little bit more modular than having them be tied to a specific terrain setup, a diorama. So that's what we're going to do. So let's commence painting. I'm going to do, there's a little bit more priming that I want to do. Some spots that I missed with the big stuff that I'm going to use my airbrush for. Oh, let's get in there and get those. Now I'm going to use some of my homemade brown wash on the sides of this here before I do my dry brushing. Don't ask me why I'm choosing to do the dry brushing or the... don't ask me why I'm trying to do the wash first this time instead of the dry brushing. This is usually what I do. This is the way I'm doing it. Okay, I'm gonna take now a dry brush of granite gray, or in this case just a lighter gray, and kind of just lightly drag it over the surface. I'm going to try to get as much of the paint off the brush as possible. I usually use a little bit more, but get it in my bristles there a little bit. Here. Notice I'm dry brushing in one direction. I'm going top to bottom. I'm trying to get a little bit of a highlight going where the sun is coming down from above. They call it like the zenithal highlighting. I'm not calling it that in this case. I'm just doing dry brushing, but I'm dry brushing from the top down to show that that's where the light source would come from. You can see some of the mistakes in the cast come out now after you do the the dry brushing. And in some respects too, when you're looking at it with the dry brushing, it kind of looks now almost like a TV, like something you'd see on an older TV, the scan lines. You can actually see, it's like the print resolution, I think that's what they call it. You can see the print resolution coming through the layers of the print as it was built on the printer. I mean, from a technological standpoint, it's kind of cool. From a terrain builder standpoint, it's really annoying because I have no way to get rid of that. Maybe I could have smoothed the plastic with some acetone or something, but I would have lost some detail. And I mean, it doesn't look terrible. But it's not something that I'm really fond of. I'm not entirely impressed with that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I have here a container of remnants of snow flock that I was using for making my Frostgrave terrain. It's just the snow that caught the excess glue and runoff and stuff that I dumped off the top of the tiles. And I'm gonna use this for making my snow paste because it's still pretty much the exact same stuff already as the regular snow flock with glue already mixed in. There's a little bit of green mixed in here too from flock, but I don't care about that. It's just gonna end up looking like dirty snow. I'll take out a couple of the bigger, grosser offenders, but you can see here that it's not altogether clumpy, but it's not altogether powdery either, so it's gonna make a nice mixture. It's just crumbling back into its normal state in my hands, so I'm just gonna reuse this stuff instead of using new stuff. So we'll mix up a little batch of paste using some of this stuff and some white PVA glue. And for this, I'm just gonna use Elmer's. It's a little bit more watery, a little easier to mix than the tacky glue. I could use Mod Podge to the same effect, but I'm gonna use Elmer's for this because I think that it'll be a little bit less viscous. And I've got a good amount of glue in the bottom of my cup here. I'm just mixing it up because it's a little separated. And now I'm gonna just add the snow to it until I get a good paste. Getting there, it's still a little too wet for what I'm looking for. to it. And if I have to add a little more glue in the opposite direction, I will. Okay, here we go. I think we got what we're looking for. I think I got the consistency I want. And we're just gonna spread it onto our pieces. And I'll just take the same popsicle stick that I used to mix it, and I'm going to try, anyway, to apply it to the top of these ruins. Give the appearance of snow resting on top. And I'm gonna do it just on every horizontal surface that I can find everywhere around the pieces. It's as easy as that, and we're just going to repeat it all the way around. And just keep layering the snow paste all along the outside of this, and as it dries it'll become a little bit more workable until it's not workable at all, obviously, because it's going to dry. It's going to get pretty stiff when it's fully dry. Stuff dries up pretty solidly, so. This might be asking a little bit too much to do for detail, but I'm going to try to get a little bit along the tops of these here too. These little arches. Because I think that adding the snow flock to this is going to make all of these striations in the plastic, just having the snow for contrast there, is already drawing my eye away from the fact that this is a 3D printed model. I really liked the pieces all together. I thought that the 3D print, while a little kind of, the resolution was really low. It wasn't very fine detail. Despite all that, they still came out looking really good, and from, you know, eye height, I want to call it eye height, like if eagle eye view, if you're just looking down on the pieces, you can't even tell that the lines are there unless you've got like the best eyesight. Putting the snow on the tops of them helps draw the eyes away from said pattern on the front of the structures. So would I recommend these products to somebody to buy? For the price they came out and how they came out, with what I had to do to them to get them to look how they look, yeah, I mean they're cheap enough. They were less than $20. First of all, they're sturdy. I know this because I dropped one and it didn't break. There was some cleanup required, not overall too much cleanup required, a little bit with a lighter and some with a knife, just to clean up some of the flashing that was still left on it from the structures that they put in for the 3D print. The resolution not so good. Adding the snow and stuff was fun. Being able to paint the piece was fun myself. I liked having that, and the affordability, obviously the price. So pros outweigh the cons, I guess, in this situation. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I recommend these little walls to everybody. Now, this company in general, I'm not entirely sure. I got these gaming crates and barrels from them as well. Now these were advertised as well as being 28 millimeter scale, and they're not. These are a much larger scale. I want to see there's almost 50 millimeters, huge. Maybe even 40 millimeter, I'm not entirely sure, but they're gigantic, and the print quality on these is not worth mentioning. So I don't know if I can recommend the company as a whole, but I definitely can recommend those ruins, and I will leave a link below to those ruins on Amazon so that you can check them out and buy yourself a set if you want to, and help out the channel in the meantime. So let's get on to our giveaway. All right, I'm gonna do this a little bit overly simplified today. I figured the easiest way to do the giveaway, it's a small giveaway, they didn't have that many entries. I've got a piece of paper with some names written on it. 4 entries, and looks like Mr. Frankie D. Crafter here was not actually interested in the interview. In the giveaway. That's the word I was looking for. Mr. Frankie D. Crafter is no longer in the contest, in the running. So there are 3 entries left for the contest today. So I'm going to take these pieces of paper and fold them up. Nice and small. And get rid of the flashing on the side so I don't know which ones are which. And then I've got my Miniac metal hat here, and we're gonna throw the pieces of paper inside, give it a shake, do this the old school way. And the winner is, drum roll please, whoever this fine piece of paper is gonna be the winner of the codes for the D&D Beyond. Oh, the DM Mama, look at you. See that? I know you can't read that. My crappy handwriting, but anyway, congratulations DM Mama, you won again. Lucky, but you're going to win the codes for 50% off of the Player's Handbook and the free copy of the Dragon of Ice Spire Peak on D&D Beyond. So thank you everybody who left a comment below wanting to participate in that giveaway. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching this video. If you find the videos that I make helpful, consider becoming a subscriber on my Patreon page. If you like the videos here, of course, leave a like, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff below. It all helps the channel. So I've been your friendly neighborhood Dungeon Master, and I'm gonna send you off with some credits. I owe some Patreon credits, so I'm gonna send out some credits for my subscribers on Patreon. So thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.